welcome me in joining and the moderator of this session, Mr. Rohit Dadwal, CEO and BOD, MMA APAC, Global Head of Smarties, MMA Asia Pacific, and along with our panelists for the C-suite panel, New Insights, AI, and the Customer Journey, What's Changing and Who's Ready? Mr. Nguyễn Hoành Tính, Senior Vice President of Momo, Mr. Nguyễn Minh Quý, Chairman Novan Group, Ms. Chi Trung, Vice President, Marketing CSD and Marketing Capability Lead, Century PepsiCo Vietnam Beverages. Please welcome.
Thank you all for coming. And the first objective of the panel has been achieved. We are sitting in order of the picture. So that's a good start. But this is a panel we crafted basically in need of the hour, of the importance of AI. Now, while we all have been talking about AI in the last 6 months or 12 months, there's this general perception of the challenge that AI presents. Everybody seems to be looking at the opportunity, and there's always a gap between the opportunity and the challenge. So what we are trying to identify today is really what's changing and who's ready for that. I have a very esteemed panel with me, and our focus of the discussion over the next 20 odd minutes is going to be to understand how that is changing. We have business, technology, and marketing on the stage, and a different perspective of the consumption of the technology, the adoption of the technology, and the journey that happens in organizations. That's what we're going to talk about. So let me get started by maybe asking you to help introduce yourself with an objective of what is it that AI means to you, both personally and from a business perspective.
Thank you, Rohit. Hey everyone. My name's Tiến, and I'm leading the marketing and distribution for Momo. I think that I have a very strange relationship with AI. On one hand, personally, I have like AI assisting me a lot. So I have my research team. Basically, it's just like a couple of agents doing all the market research and also internal data insights, everything combined to work with me. I have a personal development team that consists of a product, a designer, a couple of developers. Actually, it's just an AI team working for me full time for the first time in the history. And I have like a lot of kind of different things going on with AI every day for my personal stuff. So sounds very exciting on the personal side. On the business side, I'm running a project at this moment to revamp the whole marketing process end-to-end in Momo, and also developed a new version of the marketing platform using the new AI at this moment. But at the same time, like I'm going everywhere with my laptop, and my machine is running at home all the time. And my watch just reminded me that I have like 36 minutes short of sleep recently because of AI.
Over to you.
Okay. First of all, I'd like to introduce a little bit about myself. My English name is Alex. Yeah, my Vietnamese name is Quý. Yes, I'm the founder of Novon. Actually, I established in 20 years. I established around, how to say, 46 startup, and the 47 is an AI startup. It means that it's one of our top 5 big better of Novon, as well as of myself. In the first thing. Second thing, I think we try to become like how to say, uh, try to become AI-driven CEO. Is a new keyword. Try to become a AI-driven CEO because if you can become AI-driven CEO or AI-driven CMO, C-level, it means that you become the very how to say very dangerous version of yourself, and you can compete, you can like win your previous version. So it's quite important. I myself try to become AI driven CEO as soon as possible. It's in personal view, and in company is business view. I think no one will put our most important effort to to build how to say to use AI has to become one of the most important key success factor for us in the next 10 years. Is my viewpoint. Thank you.
Over to you.
Hello. Um, I think today I feel very precious to sit in this panel because I think my perspective may slightly different versus Anting and Alex, because I myself work in the MCG. So of course the AI level will be not master as the other two panelists fellows here. But of course today I think even for me myself personally I see how AI has been evolving in my daily life. For example, if I'm choosing a course for my kid, right, it doesn't just like Google as some years before, but I really use AI to share the recommendation and like comparison. So it's really remind me that I'm changing, so the consumer also changing. So for us, what we are asking ourselves every day is not just about how advanced of AI, but actually how consumer behavior changed during the AI era. So, and then how our business and our marketing teams has been adapt to answers on this changing behavior. Yeah.
So let me come back to you. You said you are not a practitioner as the other two people here on the stage. But what element of AI have you actually been able to drastically use in your marketing decision or a campaign? What was that moment that led you to make a decision in favor of AI? And how did it pan out? Was it good, bad, ugly? What was that moment?
Yeah. So actually, of course, in the marketing today, right, AI also helping us a lot. For example, like when we're talking about data, AI really consumes a huge volume of data from consumers, channels to retailers. So it's really helping us to understanding consumers, shoppers more deeper. And then from that, it can help us to going to the decision faster with a more understanding. And then I think that the second thing is more on, the creativity. So AI is really helping us on even production. Today, when we can produce a lot of 100,000 assets in a very short times and also efficiency versus before the cycle of producing all of those creative assets is really time consuming and a lot of cycle and testing with consumers. And also it helping us to understand different audience segment, having different insight first to do the customize and optimizing on our campaign. So from that level that we have been, um, using AI, but of course maybe in the organization like Momo or technical service or finance, maybe you will use, another level. That is what I want to say.
So she actually handed the question back to you. In an AI assisted world, there's a lot of research and analytics that can help process the payment. And differently to Pepsi, in Mome, it is more about a B2B to C rather than a B2C scenario, right? And you are helping build this ecosystem which enables them to sell to the consumers. So just walk us through that marketing platform orientation that you have from the analytics and the research that you get from AI, how to enable and empower the people, the enterprises that work with you, because you, I would assume, enable a majority of the consumer interaction platforms that get enabled either through commerce or shopping or whatever.
Okay. I think that whenever we face a new technology like this, we often see what's new. But I remember that Jeff Bezos has a saying that you should focus on something that doesn't change. So the very first thing that we ask ourselves is, what doesn't change? What will still stay in the future? And we have several things. I think the very first thing that I saw in both of the presentations before me was trust. And I think that when people talk about transactions, reducing the cost of the transactions, especially online transactions right now, I think that trust is a very important thing. And the ability to reinforce the trust, especially between the seller and the buyer on the online environment, is becoming very, very important. In Vietnam right now, we are talking about like more than 13% of the commerce is happening online. We are talking about like 30% in a couple of years. So trust is a very important thing. And we invest to build the trust between the users and the merchants. Rating review is a very important thing that we do. We know exactly who is buying, and we make sure that they leave the reviews back to the merchants so that other people can see it. We reinforce the trust in the transactions, making sure that the merchant is real and is basically EKYC. The users, in many cases, we also make sure that they are good and real people. So I think that that's one aspect that we are kind of revamping, and we focus a lot on these days. Customer service is a part of that as well. So making sure that the trust is in there. And we use technology to make that better. The second part is relationship. I think that none of the merchant would like to have tons of transactions with users that they don't understand who they are, what their preference is. And we use technology, use AI to make that relationship. And actually, I think CRM is only like a form of that. But behind it is really the relationship that we are nurturing at this moment. A third thing, and I think that this is more from kind of inside out, is about intelligence. I think that like one of our clients, a CEO of a convenient chain, once told me one thing. He said that now intelligence is the most important competitive advantage. And actually, before, there's a lot of information that's kind of lying around, um, comments, kind of unstructured data in a sense. It's very difficult to process. Now it's available. The ability to use AI to harness the information from inside of the company, also from, I think like before, social listening was just an art. Right now, anyone in the company can do that. And also fact check everything and combine everything so that we can make decision much better than before. Information about the end user, the location, everything. So I think that those are the three things that we are focusing on the kind of B2B2C platform that we are building.
Alex, let me come to you. This is a marketeer's perspective and a enabler's perspective. But as a leader of your organization, there is a lot of data, there's a lot of process and a lot of people that you need to work with. So when you make these investment decisions of launching so many companies and then come to a company like AI, what is the critical element that you need to decide to make those investments? And does that translate back to the other organizations in the group? Or is it standalone for you?
Uh, Actually, I didn't get clearly the question. Please make it more.
So when you make the investment for a AI company,
Yes.
what are the major decisions you have to take?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Uh, I think not only in my startup of AI, I think it's the when we think of an investment in general. I think the same. First of all, we think not about the technology The thing here is the ROI, right? What you invest and what you get. Even like a startup business or a new like a flow in your company, you can invest AI, many kinds of invest, for example, people, workforce, tool, or cost training, anything. But the first question here is what is the value that your company get? For example, some KPI here is the how much you can save the time of your people. Um, uh, how like uh, make like how your customer more satisfied, or mm, how much value you create more in each part, for example. And in investment, like you have many plan, have many idea, and you need to filter which is the most uh, important case, most useful case, effective case for you. So you can choose some like very few uh, case, and focus on that. Build to until you make like a drama, like I mean a major impact, and then go to the next one. Yeah.
No, it's interesting. I heard two things: building the product and trust. I was watching an interview of Steve Jobs a few days back, and something that really stayed with me. He was giving a comparison. This is way back in 1989 or 1990 when he did that interview. And he says, the quality of the product describes the customer experience. And even during those days, the best quality products were actually made in Japan. And till date, that stands true. But what was very interesting is there is no marketing campaign that comes out of Japan which talks about its quality. Whereas on the other side, the West world actually prides to do advertising talking about their quality. And the difference is when you launch a product and you do a marketing campaign and you look at the product life cycle and you ask the people maybe after 10 years of consumption of the product, people tend to forget the marketing message. It's the experience of the product that delivers the quality. And that's what people are remembered. The reason why I cited this listening to trust and product is the fact that consumers can get shaped with what you give them, but it's their experience that matters, that brings them back to you. So, in a marketing function, how do you play that role when it is using technology to deliver that product? Because the product experience is disintegrated with technology to a large extent, right? So, how do you enable and connect the two? Maybe.
So yeah, I think this is, could be a very challenge for the marketing team today, because the concept of grading the campaign is not like the same for many years, right? So because like consumer journey is changing, so the important thing is like we need to be present in the consumer journey across and all the moment. For example, like today, they are more discovery, they are more searching, they are more experience a lot of things during the different platform. They listen to the community, they listen to the content from different creators before they go into your brand own channels. So that's why I think the most important thing is the brand needs to be visible in all of the movement that consumers be in. And then it's not just about getting the pay attention, but also be in the recommendation, and also be in the validation in within the ecosystem that consumer going through. So, and then I think it's coming to the trust that you mentioned. So for marketing, what challenging us is like if we following all of the AI journey, So, and then in a way very try, then we also losing trust because they finding out, okay, what all the content reaching to them is general, it's very automation, it's lacking the human touch, lacking, the emotional resonance. So for that, it's also losing the trust from consumer in the long run. So I think that's why we also adapt AI. However, all the brand building, the value, the purpose that the brand giving to consumers will be unchanged. It will need to lead by the peoples, like for us, the human, because we understand emotion, we understand the tension, and when we also a lot of iconic ideas creating from all of those tension, understanding, and human intuition. It's not coming from the algorithm from the AI. So I think that is the balance that we always need to make.
Okay, so let's shift gears. This is about how you use AI, what's the opportunity, etc. If we were to look at maybe a little ahead in the future, maybe 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, how do you, each one of you, look at it from your role perspective? As a technology enabler, as a business leader, and as a marketer, what is it that you would want in the next 6 to 12 months from your role perspective and the utilization of AI? Because at the end of the day, if we are going to use a new technology, it has to help us in some shape or format. Challenge today is, and I think it was shared in the earlier slide also, people are focused a lot more about efficiency and process and not about growth. When does that shift happen, in your view?
You're looking at me.
Yeah, anyone can start.
Um, yeah, actually, I don't think that efficiency is the goal because I think a lot of time the cost at this moment of using AI is already very high. And if we scale up many things that we do right now, complexity increase, cost will go up. So our focus is more on speed of innovation, on kind of building the trust so that the cost of the transaction is going to a minimal. And through that, then we can empower the personalized human touch. And I think that that's something that we see as the future. And I don't try to be um, kind of pretending that I know how the future would look like. But I think that at least that's something that we believe that will continue, will be very important in the future.
I can just add, the one thing that I know, the future is going to be expensive. AI is not cheap. Doing a small test case, great. You put it into process, is very expensive. But I'll come to you. So what is your view over the next 6 to 12 months of how you see this adoption happening?
I think uh, in terms of like how to say, we are is a viewpoint of an B2B company. We we set our goal in the next like 5 year to uh, try to build uh, an enterprise infrastructure company, uh, and uh, AI is the one of the most important thing because it's an intelligent layer for enterprise infrastructure. And we try to apply all uh, to our every part of our business. First of all, is the for building a C level to build the strategy, to build the business cultural structure, to build the business plan, and even try to build in the every like type of service, internal service. We built the software for like previously we do digital transformation, and actually we are honestly it's not a successful case But now we think that AI transformation can become better case in terms of like the speed, the efficiency, and the easier for everybody to use. So we big bet on AI transformation for our company, as well as to try to build the product and the solution for AI transformation to our enterprise customer. It's our big bet. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think for me, when we look into the past, right, the marketing world, we are competing on share of self. And then for the last 10 years, I think we also fighting and compete on the share of search. But today, with the evolving of AI, we're also looking for the share of recommendation. So this is a change. And as I mentioned earlier, I think first the important thing is we need to understand what is the consumer's behavior change when the AI era is coming and evolving. And then especially for us is to also upskill ourselves with the AI, maybe not as advanced as the technology guy, but actually we also need to really upskill to, know what the the marketing change, the consumer change, so we can, preparing ahead on that. Because we don't know, like today, consumers still use AI for recommendation and, comparison, but maybe next year or the next couple of years, even they will do all kind of like decision making for them without any prompted or any, searching. So all of those, I think the marketing also need to prepare ahead for, all the scenario happen in the futures.
Okay, so to finish off, and my last question to all three of you, do you have an agentic agent working for you?
I have quite a few.
Quite a few. How many agents do you have working for you?
How many agents? What do you mean?
How many agents do you have on AI that work for you?
How many agent on AI work for me? You mean assistant or agent AI,
Agent.
agentic
Agent.
AI? I in my company or myself? Myself, I think right now around 20. Yeah.
Do you have any?
I also use, yeah. So actually also depending on the work. And then I also, seeing I'm lag behind, so I study a lot of different AI course and, also raising my own AI assistant. But actually to me, it's very difficult, but I'm trying to catch up, yeah.
Can
Okay.
and I know that you're closing this, but
Yes.
can I debate one thing about
Sure.
cost? I think that when we see the cost, we have to split it into fixed cost and variable cost. And for many cases, if we think carefully, we can invest into a fixed cost that eventually, when we spread it enough of the, like a big enough scale, then basically you'll have a lower variable cost. I think that this is something that we should consider when we plan for AI. So I think the fixed cost of the capex will increase, but I don't think that the variable cost will continue to go up, especially when the usage is high, and I think big volume is very important.
No, I agree. And I didn't mean to say that it's not going to be effective. It's just that it needs investment. And the general perception in the industry is that you can do a small use case and you've run it with 5 tokens and it will be okay. That's not the case. The reality is very different. And when the variable cost or the fixed cost, as you said, when the volume grows up, the ROI of that cost will justify itself. I agree with you.
I'm
But
with you.
but let me summarize. It says time's up. But there are a couple of things that I would like to take away and summarize for you guys. Is it is all about intelligence. AI enables the intelligence. It enables the innovation of speed of innovation. And those are two critical elements which will help you build the product or the service that you're looking at. But as we also heard, there's a very strong element of trust, and we need to be very conscious and have the guardrails of what we are doing to build that, because if we don't have that with the consumers, the adoption of any of your services, products, etc., will be uh, at a perilous position of being at a disadvantage. And last but not the least, there is a personal growth all of you, all of us have to do. Some of us have 20 agents working for us, some have less, but it is really important while we are looking at the capability of the industry, our own personal capability needs to increase, whether it's through certification programs, etc. Because you can only adopt it for your business if you understand what you need to adopt. Otherwise, it is yet another shiny objective. And the whole AI transformation, which I really like, will only happen when you understand what that transformation means. So, with that, thank you to the esteemed panel and thank you to the guests. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Mr. Rohit Datwal. Thank you to our panelists. And